Boys, today we are back and we are 1 day away from UFC 325. And a few days ago on my prediction video, I said that Diego Lopes will win by knockout in the second or third round. That was my prediction, but I'm officially changing my prediction. I had an epiphany, you know what I'm saying? I had a thought in my mind, something came to me, late at night when I was thinking about this fight. And I've been watching some, media day, some UFC 325 fight week stuff. And, this thought came into my mind that, Diego Lopes will show levels, and he will finish Volk on the ground via submission, no editing. And yeah, I have Diego Lopes. I'm officially changing my pick to Diego Lopes by sub. I think he's going to submit Volkanovski. Volkanovski retires. Or, we might get a trilogy, actually. We might get a trilogy. But anyway, let's get into this video. I think Diego Lopes will finish Volk via sub. And I have some reasons why. First up, he has a great sub game, as shown in his first two fights. His first fight, he fought Movsar Evloev, super close fight. He didn't take Movsar down, but Movsar got him down, had him in multiple submissions, like really close submissions. You can see on the screen he had him in the heel hook, or like the ankle lock, or, I'm not a fighter. I've never trained a day in my life, so I'm not sure, exactly what it's called, but I'm pretty sure it was a heel hook. He also had him in an arm bar. I'm pretty sure it was either an arm bar or a triangle. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it was a knee bar, or a knee bar like this, and an arm bar. But yeah, that first fight, he showed great grappling. Like we didn't, in these first two fights, and this second fight was against Gavin Tucker, where he did submit him via triangle. And these were his first two fights in the UFC. We didn't see the Diego Lopes we saw today. We saw a guy, with submissions, that likes to hunt people on the ground. Today we see more of like a clobber blockhead, shout out, Lucas and Bedtime, but we see like a blockhead come forward, Diego Lopes, swinging punches. We don't really see this from his game anymore. Never grappled Brian Ortega, never grappled with Dan Ige. Didn't grapple with Volkanovski in the first fight. So in my opinion, I think Diego, since he didn't find, so much success in that first fight, I think he will, use the grappling and sub Volk. But, this is one of the reasons why. He has a great game. He has a great ground game. And Makhachev exploited that, you can get Volk down. He's not easy to hold down, but if you can get him down, get a body triangle on him, he won't escape. So we know Diego has a solid base for the ground game. And this is one of the big factors. In an interview, I can't remember which one, but I was watching, he stated that he moved to Oklahoma to train at OSU. Now, OSU is known for wrestling, and we have a little mistake here, but you know what I'm saying? We're not editing. Yeah, it's late at night, so my brain's foggy as fuck. But these Friday videos I make are like kind of, off the cusp. I don't have a lot of ideas, but, this is a genuine idea for me, you know what I'm saying? But he did move to Oklahoma to train at Oklahoma State, which is known for wrestling. It's where Daniel Cormier went. All their other sports suck. Their football sucks. Their basketball sucks. So yeah, this is primarily a wrestling school. And why would Diego Lopes, move to Oklahoma and start training at OSU for like striking lessons? You know what I'm saying? For Muay Thai, for Jiu-Jitsu. No, it's for the wrestling. This is an elite wrestling program. Diego Lopes, out of any place in the entire world, why would he live in fucking Oklahoma? Like, so if you live in Oklahoma, I'm sorry, but there's, nothing out there, nothing to do. So why is he moving there if he's not training wrestling? You know what I'm saying? At one of the best wrestling schools. Daniel Cormier obviously went there. I said that, but yeah, this is an obvious move by Diego, to get his grapple game, up another level. And yeah, I don't think he was doing this when he first fought Volkanovski. So he's training at OSU for, some odd reason. Obviously it's because of the grappling. So I think this will make a big factor in the second fight. Also, he went back to early Diego that we saw in the UFC. He took Gene Silva down and dominated. He didn't just brawl with Diego. He didn't just brawl with Gene Silva. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but he took Gene Silva down. The fight started on the feet, obviously. If I remember correctly, Gene Silva went for a spin. Diego caught the, not caught the kick, but when he went, he got behind he got behind the kick, got his back, took him down, got him right in mount, and almost finished this fight. Was landing nasty 12-6 elbows, a ton of ground and pound. If it was a different ref, this fight could have, maybe got stopped, early, right in this first round, but He was in mount. He showed great grappling. Gene Silva did get out of this. Let me make that clear. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it was the whole round of domination. Gene Silva did get out of this, but Diego had him here for a while. Was landing insane ground and pound. If Gene Silva like tucked away and blocked for like maybe even like 2-3 seconds, I think they would have stopped the fight. So he didn't just brawl with Gene Silva. Obviously, in the second round, he didn't use a lot of grappling, and Gene Silva was tagging him up, which is a little concerning. But Gene Silva's an elite striker. Volk isn't that. Volk isn't a pressure guy. Gene Silva's going to pressure you, get in your face. Volk isn't that guy. He's going to sit on the outside and pick and move. So I think that's why Diego Lopes was getting tagged up. But he didn't use his grappling, in the second round. But he did spinning elbow him, which was amazing. But I was saying, this showed improvement. You know what I'm saying? It didn't. Diego we've seen recently against Brian Ortega, Dan Ige, like all he does is come forward and strike. We saw some grappling in this fight. We saw that he still has it. And it showed that he wanted to mix it up. When Gene Silva spun, he didn't just keep it striking on the feet. He went for the takedown. He got the takedown, and he landed mean shots. So he took in his last fight, took Gene Silva down. Didn't just brawl, made improvements, from the first Volkanovski fight, just chasing Volkanovski all around the ring, made improvements, didn't brawl, took him down. And the last, little topic I want to talk about here, it was his first main event. The first fight with Volkanovski was his first main event. He wasn't ready. The lights were too bright, and he's going to learn from this. You know what I'm saying? He had never been in a main event before. Never been in a 5-round fight, UFC of course, and he's going against one of the greats in the featherweight division. I wouldn't say a top goat like people are saying. I made that video yesterday, saying how I think Volkanovski's really boring and he's not like a top top 10 pound for pound guy. I think his resume is a little overrated, but Volkanovski is great. Let's be real. He's a great featherweight champion. So it was Diego's first main event. He wasn't ready. He never fought a 5-rounder before, and when you're going against a guy that doesn't pressure, and you're chasing him the whole time, especially Volkanovski has great footwork. He has great skill. Even though he's boring, he does have great skill. So he had to chase Volkanovski the entire fight. He never cut off the cage once, which was a little concerning, but I think he'll use with grappling, so that won't matter in this fight. But lights were too bright. Volkanovski was just a step ahead of him IQ-wise, but I think Diego's the type of guy to make adjustments. And I think he's a guy that really wants the belt. Like some people just fight for money and shit like this. I think Diego genuinely really wants the belt. So I think he's going to use his grappling, mix it up this fight, not just stay on the feet with Volkanovski. And if he does, I think he can catch him like he did. He caught him in the second round of the first fight. I think Diego will make improvements on the feet as well if he decides to take it there. But I think Volkanovski is just too as bad as it sounds, he's too boring on the feet. He's just going to he's better at avoiding a fight than you are bringing a fight to someone. So Volkanovski probably will win if it stays on the feet, but I don't think that will happen. I think Diego Lopes will go to the grappling, take Volkanovski down. I'm not sure the technicality. Like I said, I've never trained before, so I'm not going to say, he's going to body lock him up against the cage. That's what Charles does. Charles Oliveira, my favorite fighter. He does a lot of great body locks up against the cage, but since Diego was at OSU in the wrestling room, I think he will go more for double and single legs. That's traditional wrestling takedown. He's been training the wrestling at OSU, so I think we'll see more single and double legs from Diego and actually try to push Volkanovski up against the cage, take him down, and submit him. So yeah, Lopes will go back to the grappling, sub Volk. This is my epiphany. You know what I'm saying? This is a great sharp prediction by me. If this happens, this video is going to blow up, and I will be the new best predictor on YouTube. So I'm officially switching my pick from Diego Lopes by second round finish to Diego Lopes by third round submission. I think he's levels above Volk on the ground, especially jiu-jitsu wise. Yes, Volk is good at getting out of bad positions. We saw that in the first Makhachev fight, but jiu-jitsu wise, Diego Lopes is miles above Volk. So official prediction, Diego Lopes by third round submission. He gets the belt, and maybe they do a trilogy down the line, or maybe Volkanovski retires in Australia. One last banger fight, one last good walkout. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if I'm delusional. This actually might, backfire and be, one of the dumbest, predictions ever made, just because Volkanovski dominated him in the first fight. So, we'll see. I think this has a good chance of happening though. I genuinely feel this deep down in my heart. I'm not one of those guys that just makes videos to make videos to rile people up. Everything I make on this channel is genuinely what I think will happen. So in my opinion, honestly, on everything I love, I think Diego Lopes will sub Volk in the 3rd round. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm a dumbass. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. We're only 1 day away from 325, another back-to-back numbered events. Let's go. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.